Hello, everybody, and welcome to World Talks. My name is Don Arleth, and let's get started. All eyes are on Greenland as decisive election approaches. Greenland, the world's largest island strategically located exactly between Russia and North America, remains a self-governed territory of Denmark. Will it push for independence, though? And what about Donald Trump's desire to take control by quote-unquote one way or the other? Joining us now to help us better understand the dynamics at play is Miroslav Wlachovský. He served as the Slovak ambassador to the United Kingdom from 2011 to 2015 and ambassador to Denmark from 2018 to 2022. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us today on World Talks.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, now we are going to have Greenland one way or the other, Donald Trump says, as he addressed Greenlanders directly in his speech to the U.S. Congress, saying that he respects Greenlanders' right to self-determination. We will make you rich. We will keep you safe. How likely is it that Greenlanders will want to get closer to the United States and turn on Denmark?
I'm a bit skeptical about this, that Greenlanders will choose America over Denmark. I mean, there is for sure a movement in Greenland to eventually become an independent state, but they wouldn't trade, I think, the alliance with Denmark for the alliance with the United States, because this is a former Danish territory, but I would say that their relations with Denmark is very strong on several levels, and when it comes to public services, they are basically run by Denmark, or they are subsidized by Denmark in a very strong way.
Right, I believe to the tune of around $10,000 per person. Now, when we look at the view from the United States, we've heard from Donald Trump that Greenland plays a pivotal role in global security. And he also likes to cite the fact that Chinese and Russian ships continue to explore or expand in that area. From the United States perspective, I mean, I know that it's tried a few times now to bring Greenland into the fold, but is it really so important as Donald Trump is making it out to be?
I think the importance of Greenland is growing because of the climate change and possible trade routes in the northern hemisphere in the area around Greenland, and it's also very important from the security point of view as a shield against the missiles coming to North America. But I think the United States have pretty much covered that security issue by their military bases in Greenland. And when it comes to Denmark, I think it's hard to find the more transatlantic, up until now, the more transatlantic nations in Europe when it comes to cooperation with America. I mean, Danes were always, since the World War II, a strong ally of the United States and one of the founding members of North Atlantic Alliance.
Right, which makes this situation ever more complex. Now, concerning the separatist movement, because we hear that around 85% of Greenlanders are seeking independence, but they all differ as to the timeline that this should happen.
Yeah, that's true. Look, I was ambassador to Kingdom of Denmark in the years 2018, 2022, and that covers also the era when President Trump was U.S. president for the first time, and even at that time he tried to get his hands on a Greenland, if I can say it this way. But the answer was quite sound no, it's not up to Denmark, it's up to Greenlanders to decide about their future. And the Greenlanders said basically that they are not for sale and they are not that easy to buy.
Right. So what are your expectations for these elections right now? I know the world is hyper-focused on Greenland, but are we going to see...
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think they never had such an interest in a community of let's say 56,000 people about their elections. So it's all hyped because of the expressions of U.S. President Donald Trump. I don't think these elections are elections about Greenland's independence right now. As you said, that there are people in Greenland who eventually want independence, but as far as I remember from the time when I was there, and I visited Greenland once in September 2021, I guess. I think it's not like we will know after these elections that Greenland decides to become an independent country. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong.
Another thing we hear about is, of course, and you mentioned the the changing climate, the access to, say, minerals, rare earth, oil and gas, natural resources. So could the United States theoretically play a more significant role than Denmark has traditionally done so to enrich the local population, or is this kind of somewhat of a pipe dream?
Look, I think the fact that in Greenland there are rare minerals which became more and more important in the recent years due to technologies. It's known fact, and I think it was available for mining companies from the United States before, but I also know that economically it didn't make much sense for them without the state support to dig into the Greenlandish territory, because it's so difficult and it's so hard to reach them due to the climate. So if it was a couple of years ago that it was difficult, I don't think we saw so much change. So I think it is possible to extract those rare minerals, but it needs something more than the private companies and private money. Probably it needs some state intervention or state programs to help to extract these rare minerals.
Right, and finally, is it conceivable that some other kind of arrangement can be made between both the United States and Denmark that would appease the two sides and allow them to accomplish their goals?
I strongly hope so. I strongly hope so, because it would make much more sense. And as far as I know, Danes, they are very sensible people, very pragmatic people. I think they will offer anything they could, except for those things which will concern the real choice of Greenlandish people and the sovereignty of Kingdom of Denmark.
All right. Ambassador Miro Wlachovský, former ambassador, Slovak ambassador to the United Kingdom and to Denmark. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on World Talks.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And that concludes this edition of World Talks. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.